A little over a week ago, my hammer planer thicknesser died. I'll put a link to the vid I made just down below. Anyway, the parts have arrived and it's time to repair it, and I'm really not looking forward to this. And the reason I'm not looking forward to it is I'm not an electrician. I'm as far from being an electrician as you could possibly be. In fact, doing anything with electrics scares the living crap out of me. Even though the machine is isolated, turned off, it's off of the consumer unit. Every possible chance of electric getting to it has been removed. And it still scares me. Now, just a little update to that previous video that I made. I mentioned the price that I was quoted was £170. Apparently I misheard, and the guy on the other end of the phone said 107. That was a wonderful surprise, 107 instead of 170. So I'll go back to that previous video and put a little update on the bottom. Within the same email, they also said that the original carrier that was going to deliver them as an urgent delivery couldn't, because these are dangerous components. That fills you full of joy, doesn't it? Anyway, before I go any further, please do not take any part of this video as instructional on how to do this, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I really don't want you to follow any mistakes that I might make, and equally stand the chance of blowing yourself out of the water. So totally not an instructional video. The electrical box of tricks is located here, just underneath the right hand table and right above the isolator switch. I'm going to swap across to my mobile phone and see if I can show you everything before I attempt the rewire, the reinstallation of. So here's the back of the machine with the panels off, and here are the two capacitors. This is the broken one. This one appears to be fine, but apparently I need to replace both. And just around the side here, that's the little box of electrical tricks. Now that box is screwed onto the frame of the machine itself via two screws, one there and one there, and these other two just keep the lid on. So what I need to do is to trace this cable through the panel into the bag, find out where it goes. I'm going to do one capacitor at a time, so I stand less chance of screwing it all up and making stuff explode. So here goes. There are some contradictions here between the marketing and the reality, that, and the feedback from support, that if this is a part of the machine that tends to go, then why is it not made for easy replacement? This is not easy replacement in my book. So one small problem that I've just come up against is the old capacitors that were made in China have got black and white cables coming out of them. Excuse me. The new capacitors that were made in Romania have got brown and blue wires coming out of them. So I'm completely stumped. I have no idea what to do. I've had a look at the top of the capacitor and there's no polarity indicators on the spade connectors underneath this little plastic cap. So I'm going to ring Felder and ask them what I should do. Okay, well that took half an hour, but the guys just rang me back, and a very pleasant cup of coffee, I must be honest. So apparently these are not, I don't know what the correct term is, polarity specific. It doesn't matter which way I connect them, but what he has said is replace the black wire with the brown wire and the white wire with the blue wire in both cases, and that'll give me a guide on what to do. So I'm not going to video this bit because I'm just going to show myself looking like a cow with a musket, because I'm buying, as previously mentioned, this is not an instructional video. I know not what I'm doing, so please do not try to follow anything that I'm doing. This is merely for entertainment value, or to show you what the thing looks like when it's all taken apart. Hopefully you can see that all wires are now secure. Brown where black was, blue where white was, blue where white was, brown where black was. So I just want to make an observation at this point that fiddling around inside of this box trying to fish the wires through and get them into the required location, along with trying to get this nut secured back onto the capacitor and then trying to tighten it. None of it is a simple task. There isn't enough room to work, so it all just feels a little bit contradictory. If these are indeed components that are expected to fail at some point, why have they not made it a much simpler task to swap them over? Okay, well, it's time to push the button and find out whether I've done it right or not. And I've got to admit, I'm so past scared. I think I'm bordering on petrified at the moment, but I need to know whether it works or not. So here goes. Oh, I forgot the isolator switch. Okay, now I need to be brave again. Result or what? Is that not the sweetest sound ever? And look, no smoke. I'm thinking cup of tea, biscuit, maybe a little lie down for a while. So that was one of the most uncomfortable experiences I've had in the workshop in recent years. I really didn't enjoy that at all. I completely understand that stuff breaks every now and again. It work hardens, wear and tear, whatever the appropriate term is for an electrical device. As I've mentioned all throughout this video and the last video, I am as far from being considered an electrician as is possible, so I don't know anything about the stuff inside of this and why that would happen, but it broke, so it had to be replaced. The bit that I really can't fathom at the moment, and I may dwell on for a number of weeks or months, is that after talking with the guys at Felder, who I've got to say, and the last that answers the phone, I've got to say, they were really, really helpful, understanding, and did their best to talk me through both finding out what the problem was and indeed to rectify the problem when I came across the different coloured wires. They were great. I can't fault them at all. The processes that they follow are laid down by head office, and they've got to follow those processes. So those guys and girls, fantastic. Maybe the processes need evaluating, or maybe, and this is the bit I referred to just now that I really can't get my head around, that if these are components that one should expect to fail, then why are they not, as part of the design process of the range of machinery, put in a place where they're more accessible, they're easier to change? Now, maybe I find them difficult because I'm an electrical dullard, I don't know, but that just didn't seem, it didn't feel like a user replaceable component. The more experience I get with the Hammer range of machines, the more I'm inclined to agree with a consensus of opinion that appears to be out there on the web, which is this is Felder's budget range. The price doesn't feel budget, but the machines have just not got a level of finesse that you'd expect for £4,000 worth of equipment, £6,000 worth of equipment. Compared to others on the market, I'm starting to feel like they may be not the best purchase in the world. I've seen a few comments, read a few articles about people that have had the Hammer experience and then traded up to the Felder experience range, and they've been absolutely ecstatic with the change, and they've got over the price increase very, very quickly. Maybe that's something I should consider doing. I don't really know. I don't know what level of financial commitment's going to be involved in that, but I may look into it in the future. But for now, my planer's working again. I'm chuffed to bits that I've managed to get through that issue and get it back working, and now I've got to catch up. So thanks very much for watching. I hope this video has been of some entertainment value. As mentioned before, this is definitely not an instructional video, for entertainment purposes only. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll see you after my lie down. Ta-ra.